Hello, my name is Thaddeus Lathan, and this is my experimental and non-experimental case studies for LEAD 786. The first thing we need to do is understand quantitative research. It is a way of explaining phenomena by collecting numerical data that are analyzed using mathematically based methods, in particular, statistics. Predictor, variable, and subjects. Simply, predictor variable is the portion of the experiment that is being manipulated or controlled. The subjects refer to the individuals being studied. Hello. Experimental studies. An experimental study is basically a cause and effect type of relationship we're looking for. We're looking for an experimental group and a control group. Our experimental group will be the group that we manipulate, whereas our control group will be the group that is static. We don't do anything to that group, but simply let them progress as they naturally would. As it relates to non-experimental studies, a non-experimental study is the terminology given to a study when a researcher is unable to control or manipulate any of the predictor variables or any of the subjects. This is really based on an observable type of situation for the researcher. He or she cannot control any of the predictor variables again or any of the subjects. Now, they do realize that non-experimental research tends to have a high level of external validity, meaning it can be generalized to a larger population. Now, the two things that I chose to look at our particular institution was how we deliver Math 1, which is semesterly, and how we would like to deliver Math 1 year long, and then to compare those research for freshman students. Now, for our non-experimental, we wanted to look at how Overhills utilizes the avid practice of Cornell note-taking. And we were curious to see if there is any observable relationship to socioeconomic and ethnicity of the students to their ability to do that particular practice. Now, why is my experimental study Math 1? Well, for one reason, it has predictable variables that are controllable. It has a control and experimental element, and it has a cause and effect type of relationship between those things. Non-experimental. My avid or Cornell note-taking strategy was considered non-experimental because we have no predictor variable that we can control, or the subjects. They can't go in and out of their ethnicity or their socioeconomic status. It's not up to the researcher to control. There's no control or experimental collection of individuals. And then there's no clearly defined cause and effect. And thank you, and that is my presentation on experimental and non-experimental case studies. Have a great one.